Welcome back to Investing Talk Podcast. Today we're going to be looking at a company making waves in the Bitcoin mining world,
Oh, yeah.
Bitfarms.
Okay.
They're trading on the Nasdaq under the ticker symbol BITF.
Gotcha.
You may have noticed some recent volatility with their stock.
Yeah, I have actually.
So we're here to kind of unpack what's driving those market movements
Okay.
and what it means for you as an investor.
Sounds good.
Bitfarms is operating in a really fascinating space right now.
Absolutely.
The cryptocurrency market is constantly evolving,
Yeah.
and understanding a company's operational performance and financial health
Yeah.
is key for investors.
I think that's a great point. Yeah.
And one thing that's been catching my eye is their focus on operational efficiency.
Okay.
Bitfarms has seen a 97% year-over-year increase in hash rate,
Wow.
which, for those unfamiliar, is the computing power dedicated to mining Bitcoin.
Yeah.
They're now at a massive 12.8 EH per S. Not only that, but they've also managed to boost their efficiency by 40%,
Wow.
bringing it down to 21 watts per terahash.
Okay.
That's significant because it means they're using less energy to mine the same amount of Bitcoin
Right.
in an industry that's often criticized for its energy consumption.
Yeah.
This kind of efficiency improvement is a big deal.
It is. It is.
It can translate to lower costs,
Yeah.
potentially even more environmentally friendly operation.
For sure.
Exactly. It's all about doing more with less,
Yeah.
which is great for their bottom line.
Yeah. Absolutely.
On top of that, they managed to mine 2,914 Bitcoins in 2024 alone.
Okay.
But it's not just about efficiency.
Right.
Bitfarms is also making strategic moves to expand their reach.
Okay. Like what?
Take, for example, their planned acquisition of Stronghold Digital Mining,
Okay.
which is expected to close in the first quarter of 2025.
Got it.
This acquisition could be a game changer for Bitfarms. It marks a significant expansion into the U.S. market,
Okay.
which is a key strategic move for any Bitcoin mining company.
Yeah.
The U.S. offers a potentially more stable regulatory environment
Right.
and, importantly, access to a wider range of renewable energy sources,
Yeah.
both of which are crucial for long-term growth in this industry.
I see. Yeah. Makes sense.
So they're getting more efficient
Yeah.
and expanding their operations.
Uh-huh.
But how does their financial health look overall?
Well, while they haven't quite hit all their initial growth targets, their financial position appears surprisingly strong.
Okay.
They ended 2024 with over $145 million in liquidity,
Wow.
and $60 million of that is straight up cash.
That kind of liquidity is definitely a good sign,
Yeah.
especially in a market as unpredictable as cryptocurrency.
Right?
It gives them the flexibility to weather any potential storms
Yeah.
and make strategic investments. And speaking of interesting financial strategies, they've got this synthetic HODL program,
Okay.
which I have to admit I found pretty intriguing.
Interesting.
They managed to generate about $18 million in trading profits with a 135% return.
Wow. So that program essentially allows them to benefit from the price appreciation of Bitcoin without directly holding the cryptocurrency itself.
Yeah.
It's a sophisticated financial strategy that shows they're not just mining Bitcoin, but also actively managing their risk
Right.
and exploring innovative ways to potentially enhance their returns.
It's like they're playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers.
Yeah.
But what about outside perspectives? What are the analysts saying about Bitfarms' future?
Despite the recent stock volatility, the overall analyst sentiment seems cautiously optimistic.
Okay.
For instance, Keefe, Bruyette & Woods gave Bitfarms an outperform rating
Okay.
and set a price target of $5.02 Canadian.
That's definitely a positive sign.
Yeah.
Other analysts have set price targets ranging from $3.50 to $6.
Right.
It seems like there's a general belief that Bitfarms has the potential for growth.
Uh-huh.
It's important to remember, though, that these ratings and price targets are just one piece of the puzzle.
Yeah.
They're based on analysts' interpretations of the company's performance and future prospects,
Right.
right? It's always important for investors to do their own research and consider their own risk tolerance.
Absolutely.
Don't just rely on what others are saying.
Yeah, good advice.
But let's take a step back for a second and think about the bigger picture.
Okay.
We can't talk about Bitfarms without acknowledging the wider trends shaping the cryptocurrency mining industry.
Yeah.
It's no secret that the sector is facing some headwinds right now.
Right.
But there are also some potentially exciting developments on the horizon.
Like what?
Absolutely. You've got rising energy costs and increasing competition putting pressure on mining companies' margins.
Yeah, for sure.
But then you've got the growing institutional interest in cryptocurrency and the potential for advancements in renewable energy technology,
Okay.
both of which could create new opportunities for the industry as a whole.
Yeah, that makes sense.
For example, Morgan Stanley's E-Trade is exploring crypto trading,
Interesting.
which is a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
If a major financial institution like that enters the crypto space, it could be a huge win for companies like Bitfarms.
For sure.
And we can't forget about the long-term price projections for Bitcoin,
Right.
which remain largely positive.
Yeah, absolutely. These are all factors that investors need to consider. Bitfarms' performance is inherently linked to the price of Bitcoin and the overall health of the cryptocurrency market.
Okay, so for all you technical analysis enthusiasts out there, let's break down some recent indicators and trends that might be helpful for your own research. First, the basics. BITF is currently trading around $1.68.
Okay.
Its 50-day moving average is hovering around $1.95, while its 200-day moving average is sitting a bit higher at $2.13.
So we can see that the stock is currently trading below both its 50-day and 200-day moving averages. Some might interpret this as a potentially bearish signal in the medium to long term. However, as always, it's just one indicator among many.
Right. It's all about piecing together the puzzle. Now let's dive into some other key technical indicators. The RSI, or Relative Strength Index, sits at 44.45, which is generally considered a neutral zone. This suggests that the stock's momentum is neither overly bullish nor bearish.
Then we have the MACD, the Moving Average Convergence Divergence, which currently sits at negative 0.09. Now, this could hint at a potential bearish signal, suggesting that downward momentum might be building. But again, it's essential to confirm this with other indicators and not rely solely on the MACD.
Next up, we've got the stochastic oscillator, another momentum indicator. It currently sits at 44.76, also suggesting neutral momentum similar to the RSI. Then there's the ADX, or Average Directional Index, which measures the strength of a trend. It's currently at 14.84, indicating relatively weak trend strength.
A low ADX reading like this often suggests that the stock might be experiencing range-bound trading, meaning it's likely to stay within a certain price range for the time being.
And finally, we have the Williams %R, yet another momentum indicator, currently at negative 51.43. This could actually be interpreted as a potential buy signal, as it suggests the stock might be oversold.
It's interesting, isn't it? While some indicators point toward potential bearish signals, others suggest a possible contrarian view. This is why it's so crucial to look at multiple indicators together, rather than fixating on just one.
Exactly. It's about getting a holistic view. And to round out our technical analysis, let's take a quick look at the support and resistance levels based on pivot point analysis.
All right, so the support levels, where we might expect to see some buy-in pressure come in, are at $1.62, $1.58, and $1.54.
And on the flip side, the resistance levels, where we might see sell-in pressure kick in, are at $1.70, $1.74, and $1.78.
Keeping an eye on these levels can be helpful. If the stock breaks through a resistance level with strong volume, it could signal a potential shift in momentum to the upside. Conversely, if it breaks down through a support level, it could indicate further downside potential.
So looking at all this technical data, it seems BITF is in a pretty interesting position right now. There are some signs of potential bearish pressure, but also some hints of potential upside.
Technical analysis can be a valuable tool for investors, but remember, it's just one piece of the puzzle. It's essential to combine it with a solid understanding of the company's fundamentals and the broader market context.
Absolutely. We've covered a lot of ground already, from Bitfarms' operational efficiency and strategic acquisitions to their financial health and what the analysts are saying. But one key takeaway I want to emphasize is that this is a company operating in a rapidly evolving and often unpredictable market.
That's precisely why it's so crucial to stay informed, do your own research, and make sure any investment decisions you make align with your risk tolerance and investment goals. You know, one of the things that makes Bitfarms stand out in the Bitcoin mining industry is their commitment to sustainability.
Right.
We've already touched on their impressive efficiency improvements,
Yeah.
which are a big part of that, but it goes beyond just watts per terahash.
Right. Their planned expansion into the U.S. market through the Stronghold acquisition
Yeah,
is also closely tied to this sustainability focus. It's not just about geographic diversification.
exactly. The U.S., particularly certain regions,
Uh-huh.
offers access to a wider range of renewable energy sources
Right.
compared to some of Bitfarms' current operating locations. This access to hydropower, wind power,
Okay.
and even solar power is critical for any company that wants to be a leader in sustainable Bitcoin mining.
So they're not only reducing their energy consumption per Bitcoin mined,
Right.
but also actively seeking out cleaner energy sources to power their operations.
Yeah.
That's a powerful combination, especially considering the growing investor focus on ESG factors.
Absolutely. Investors are becoming increasingly aware of the environmental impact
Right.
of their investment choices, and for good reason.
Yeah.
Companies that are proactive in reducing their carbon footprint
Mm-hmm.
and embracing sustainable practices are likely to be more attractive to a wider pool of investors.
It makes you wonder, though, how much of Bitfarms' push for sustainability is driven by genuine environmental concern versus a strategic response to investor pressure and market trends.
That's a valid question, and it's something investors should always consider. It's often a combination of factors,
Yeah.
but ultimately, regardless of the motivation, the outcome is positive. If a company is making tangible efforts to reduce its environmental impact, that's a step in the right direction.
I completely agree. But let's not forget that Bitfarms is still operating in a highly volatile market.
Right.
Even with their focus on sustainability and operational efficiency, their success is still closely tied to the unpredictable price of Bitcoin.
That's the inherent challenge of investing in the cryptocurrency space.
Yeah.
You have these innovative companies making strides in technology and sustainability,
Yeah.
but their fortunes can fluctuate wildly based on factors largely outside their control.
It's a roller coaster ride for sure.
Yeah.
But speaking of the broader market,
Yeah.
you mentioned some potential headwinds facing the cryptocurrency mining industry.
Right.
What are some of the key challenges they're grappling with right now?
Well, one of the most significant challenges is the increasing difficulty of mining Bitcoin.
Okay.
As more miners join the network and computing power increases,
Yeah.
the difficulty of solving the complex mathematical problems required to mine Bitcoin also increases. This means miners need to constantly invest in more powerful and efficient equipment to stay competitive.
That makes sense. It's like an arms race for computing power,
Yeah,
and those who can't keep up risk falling behind.
exactly. And then you have the issue of regulatory uncertainty.
Okay.
Governments around the world are still figuring out how to approach cryptocurrencies. And the regulatory landscape can change quickly.
Yeah.
This uncertainty can make it difficult for mining companies to plan for the future and make long-term investments.
It's like trying to build a house on shifting sand. You
Yeah.
never quite know what the ground beneath you is going to do.
A very apt analogy. And then, of course, there's the issue of energy consumption,
Yep.
which we've already touched on. Bitcoin mining is an energy-intensive process. And as the industry grows, so does its environmental footprint.
Right.
This has drawn criticism from environmental groups and regulators alike.
So it seems like the cryptocurrency mining industry is facing a perfect storm of challenges, from increasing mining difficulty and regulatory uncertainty to environmental concerns.
It's definitely a challenging environment, but it's also an incredibly dynamic and innovative one.
Yeah.
The companies that can adapt to these challenges, embrace sustainable practices,
Yeah.
and stay ahead of the technological curve are the ones that are most likely to succeed in the long run.
Now, despite these challenges, there are also some exciting developments
Yeah.
that could benefit the industry as a whole. You mentioned earlier that Morgan Stanley's E-Trade is exploring crypto trading.
Right.
What kind of impact could this have on companies like Bitfarms?
If a major financial institution like Morgan Stanley enters the crypto space,
Yeah.
it could be a huge boost for the entire industry.
Okay.
It would signal a growing acceptance of cryptocurrencies by mainstream financial institutions,
Right.
which could lead to increased investment, wider adoption, and
Yeah.
perhaps even more stability in the market.
It's like a stamp of approval from the traditional financial world, which could give investors more confidence in cryptocurrencies and crypto-related companies.
Precisely. And then you have the ongoing advancements in blockchain technology,
Okay.
the underlying technology behind Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies.
I've heard a lot about blockchain technology,
Yeah.
but I have to admit, I don't fully understand its potential.
Okay.
Can you break it down for me and our listeners?
Of course, blockchain at its core is a decentralized and distributed ledger
Okay.
that records transactions across a network of computers.
Uh-huh.
This decentralization makes it incredibly secure and transparent,
Okay.
as there's no single point of failure or control.
So instead of relying on a central authority like a bank to verify transactions,
Right.
it's the network itself that does the verification.
Exactly. And this decentralized nature of blockchain has the potential to revolutionize a wide range of industries beyond just finance. We're already seeing applications in supply chain management, healthcare,
Wow.
voting systems, and more.
So the potential applications of blockchain go far beyond just Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies.
Right.
It's really about the underlying technology and its ability to change the way we do things.
Exactly. And for investors, this is an important point to consider.
Yep.
While investing directly in cryptocurrencies can be highly speculative,
Yeah.
investing in companies that are developing and utilizing blockchain technology
Uh-huh.
could offer a way to gain exposure to this transformative trend without the same level of volatility.
That's a really interesting perspective. It's like investing in the picks and shovels during a gold rush.
Yeah.
Rather than just the gold itself,
Yeah.
you're betting on the underlying infrastructure that supports the entire industry.
Precisely. And while the future of cryptocurrency and blockchain technology is still uncertain,
Uh-huh.
the potential for disruption and innovation is undeniable.
So for investors who are interested in this space,
Yeah.
what are some of the key things they should be thinking about?
Well, first and foremost, it's crucial to do your research. The cryptocurrency and blockchain space is still relatively new and constantly evolving.
Yeah.
So it's important to understand the underlying technology, the risks involved, and the potential rewards.
And it's also important to remember that this is a long-term game.
Yes.
The cryptocurrency market is highly volatile, and
Yeah.
there will be ups and downs along the way.
Absolutely. Patience is key. It's also important to diversify your investments.
Okay.
Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Instead, spread your risk by investing in a variety of cryptocurrencies,
Yeah.
blockchain companies, and other assets.
So it's all about doing your due diligence, taking a long-term perspective,
Right.
and spreading your risk. Sounds like good investment advice in general,
Yeah.
whether you're investing in cryptocurrencies or traditional stocks.
I completely agree. Sound investment principles always apply regardless of the asset class.
Now, we've talked a lot about the big picture, but let's bring it back to Bitfarms.
Okay.
Given all these industry trends and challenges,
Yeah.
what are some of the key questions investors should be asking themselves about the company's future?
That's a great question. I think some of the most important questions to consider are, how effectively will Bitfarms be able to navigate the increasing mining difficulty and rising energy costs?
Okay.
Will their expansion into the U.S. market through the Stronghold acquisition be successful?
Right.
And how will they adapt to the evolving regulatory landscape surrounding cryptocurrencies?
These are all critical questions, and the answers will largely determine Bitfarms' success or failure in the years to come.
Exactly. And ultimately, only time will tell how these factors play out. But by staying informed, doing their research, and asking the right questions, investors can make more informed decisions about whether Bitfarms is the right investment for them.
It's fascinating to think about how a company like Bitfarms, which is so deeply embedded in the world of Bitcoin, would adapt if the very foundation of their business were to shift.
It's a thought-provoking question, you know?
Yeah.
What happens if something renders Bitcoin obsolete?
Or if the regulatory landscape becomes so restrictive that mining is no longer profitable? These are the kinds of what-if scenarios that investors need to consider.
Exactly. It's easy to get caught up in the hype and the potential upside of an emerging industry,
Yeah.
but it's equally important to think about the downside risks.
Risk management is a crucial aspect of any investment strategy, especially in a volatile market like cryptocurrency.
So if we imagine a future where Bitcoin is no longer the dominant cryptocurrency, or where mining becomes significantly more difficult or less profitable, what options would a company like Bitfarms have?
Well, one option would be to diversify their operations, right?
Yeah.
They could start mining other cryptocurrencies or even expand into other areas of the blockchain ecosystem, like developing blockchain-based applications or providing consulting services.
So instead of putting all their eggs in the Bitcoin basket, they could spread their bets across multiple cryptocurrencies or even move beyond mining altogether. That's right. Another option would be to focus on becoming a leader in sustainable mining practices. As we discussed earlier, investors are becoming increasingly concerned about the environmental impact of their investments.
Yeah, and if Bitfarms could position themselves as the go-to company for environmentally conscious cryptocurrency mining, that could give them a competitive advantage even in a changing market.
Absolutely. And then there's the option of mergers and acquisitions. We've already seen Bitfarms make a strategic acquisition with Stronghold,
Right.
and they could continue to acquire other companies to expand their reach, diversify their operations, or acquire new technologies.
So even in a future where Bitcoin's dominance is challenged, Bitfarms could potentially leverage their existing expertise and infrastructure to adapt and thrive in a new cryptocurrency landscape.
That's the key takeaway here, adaptability.
Yeah.
The companies that can adapt to change, embrace innovation, and anticipate future trends are the ones that are most likely to succeed in the long run, regardless of what the future holds for Bitcoin.
Well said. We've covered a lot of ground today, from Bitfarms' current operations and financial health to the broader trends shaping the cryptocurrency mining industry and the potential challenges and opportunities that lie ahead.
Yeah, it's been a fascinating discussion. And as we wrap up, I want to emphasize again the importance of doing your own research, understanding the risks, and making informed investment decisions.
Couldn't agree more. The world of cryptocurrency is exciting and full of potential,
It is.
but it's not for the faint of heart. It requires careful consideration, a long-term perspective, and a healthy dose of risk tolerance.
And remember, the only constant is change. So stay informed, stay curious, and stay tuned for more insights from Investing Talk podcast.
Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast, share this episode with anyone who might find it interesting, and leave us a comment with your thoughts. We appreciate your support and always love hearing from you.
Until next time.